Just letting you guys know you can listen to my No Bleeps podcast anywhere you stream podcasts or on my No Bleeps YouTube channel. Link in the description. Hey guys, it's Billy and welcome back to Sesh. Today we are talking about the fact that Shane Dawson has basically given his 2 cents on this entire drama with Trisha Paytas and Jeffree Star. The fact that she was calling him out and everyone who was friends with him out, saying how dare they still support Jeffree Star because he has people working for him that literally talk so disgustingly negative about people body shaming and saying things about Trisha's skin and weight and the fact that she doesn't have a lot of money, which she clearly does, and the fact that Jeffree also allows this to happen and chimes in on this, and she is fed up with the fact that her best friend Shane Dawson and his fiance Rylan continue to promote Jeffree Star and put him on this pedestal and promote him on the podcast, on their Instagram stories, and she has had enough.
I had made Shane aware of all of this from the beginning, from the minute it happened, and I am not that person to say like don't be friends with someone, but it's just like the constant promoting of Jeffree and just how awful and evil he is. Like it really makes me sick.
And is still continuing to follow Hair by Jay, who said very, very negative things about Trisha Paytas. The fact that Shane is willing to stand by Jeffree and someone who works for Jeffree and all of the disgusting things that they have said about Trisha, despite the fact that Trisha has been extremely vocal in the fact that she wants Shane to come back to the internet, despite all the things that everyone is saying, she has gotten backlash time and time again for continuing to support and promote Shane Dawson, but she did not care because she was a loyal friend to him and nothing was going to get in the way of her cheering on her best friend. But the fact that Trisha is hurting by Jeffree and Shane is choosing to stand by Jeffree Star, who has honestly not really said anything about Shane Dawson since all of the stuff went down with them last year, getting called out. Jeffree has really tried to keep his friendship with Shane behind closed doors, really not being public about it, whereas Trisha's saying in every single podcast, in every single video that she loves Shane, wants him to come back, she's excited for him to return. The fact that he is choosing to side with Jeffree Star in this situation is honestly saying so much about him and his character. And a lot of people are saying, well, Shane is just sticking by the money. And this is something that is so absolutely confusing to me because honestly, I think his time making money with Jeffree Star is completely done. The palette, that was it. That was truly the peak for them. And now that they are both very unliked by the public, there's no way they are ever going to be back to what they were. They are not ever going to have that kind of success on a palette, honestly, ever again. I mean, seriously, this was the opportunity for Shane to come back to the internet, and that's literally just that. Trisha gave Shane the opportunity to say, I don't support what is being said about Trisha. And the fact that Jeffree has somebody like this working for him, the fact that he's hurting Trisha's feelings by saying these things behind her back on trips, talking bad about her, inviting her to trips just to talk bad about her, make her cry and leave early. The fact that Shane is still following the people that hurt Trisha, but he's been friends with Trisha for years and stand by someone he's only been friends with for like 2 years and isn't as close with as Trisha. I mean, people think that Jeffree has something against Shane, like he is holding something over his head, because honestly, I really don't believe it's the money thing, because I don't think that he's ever going to make that kind of money with Jeffree ever again. It's truly just impossible at this point. They're just so unliked. There's no way that many people are going to want to buy something from them. I know they have an audience still, but it's definitely not as big as it once was. I mean, maybe it's a contract situation, but truly, I think the fact that he could have come back, but he chose to take Jeffree's side is just, I mean, is that really worth a contract? And I know he could get out of it legally, he could get out of it. And I feel like Trisha would have even fronted the money for the legal aspect for him to get out of that merch contract, to be honest with you. Like, Trisha hasn't cared for any of the backlash that she has gotten for being so vocal, promoting Shane and whatnot. And the fact that he is going to just throw that all away for someone who honestly is not even caring about him. Jeffree is not vocally supporting Shane's comeback. He's not talking about Shane like the way Trisha is. He's not hyping Shane up. He's like really not being a good friend publicly. Jeffree literally is the reason why Shane got taken down in the first place, because his friendship with Jeffree was the reason why everyone started to investigate in on his past, and the reason why there was like a whole entire Dramageddon 2 that went down. Honestly, that's truly just it. Jeffree is very responsible for having a hand in why Shane Dawson is in the place he is in right now, in hiding. And even though Trisha is extremely problematic, her being friends with Shane has never, ever gotten him in as much trouble as Jeffree's friendship has gotten him into. So this is insane to me. As much as Trisha is definitely not everyone's favorite person on the internet, she's done horrible things, she is a dang loyal friend to Shane, and he is really making a bad move here. If Shane was truly smart, he really would have publicly just said he does not support Jeffree, and I think this would have been a really big opening for him to completely detach himself from Jeffree, and honestly might have been able to come back. I honestly think that he could have come back on this whole detox from Jeffree. Like, I am a bad person, I recognize that, but I really want to get better and I want to surround myself with better people. I really think that is what he could have done in this situation, but no, he had to publicly unfollow Trisha on Instagram and dig this hole for himself, this bigger hole for himself. He has made the situation a million billion times worse, and I don't know how he will ever try to come back from this, because, you know, Trisha has been saying he's been wanting to come back and he was probably going to come back this year, but I mean, now there's definitely no way that people are going to be excited for him to come back, welcoming him with open arms. I mean, like I said in yesterday's video, people are flooding to the comments section of Ryland's podcast to say that they are unsubscribing and they do not want to see them promoting Jeffree Star, having known what Jeffree Star and his employees and his friends are saying about people behind their backs. And honestly, I don't know if Shane thinks he's the exception to all of this, because Jeffree has gone through so many friendships. Manny, Laura, Tati, James. I mean, come on, even Trisha Paytas is not friends with him. That says a lot, because Trisha puts up with a lot. And the fact that they are not friends, and, you know, Jeffree has this track record of not being friends with people for a very long time. I don't know why Shane thinks he is the exception to all of this. I'm sure if Jeffree is saying stuff about everybody under the sun, he is certainly talking bad about Shane behind his back too. I'm sure Jeffree is even sitting at home laughing about this situation, like, wow, I really got Shane under my wing right here. This man will do literally everything for me and ruin his chances to make a comeback onto the internet just to stay friends with me. I don't know what he has over Shane, and I don't know what Shane thinks this looks like to the public, but it does not look good, and they have to be hearing it through the comments of not only Instagram but the podcast comments. I mean, seriously, I don't know what he is thinking in this situation. I don't know what Jeffree is telling him, but for real, whether Jeffree is calling him family or not, I promise that Jeffree has definitely said some negative things about Shane. There's no way. This man is not a nice person, and it is very clear. But if Shane wants to live in this fantasy where Jeffree Star is not talking bad about him behind his back, I don't know. Now Shane only has Jeffree in his corner. That's not good. Two people that are not liked on the internet working together. For what? To come back? I mean, that's really hard. At least Trisha was willing to help promote his comeback, and now he doesn't even have that. And like I said yesterday, they have literally the same fan base. People that love Trisha love Shane. So if he's gonna cross them too, that's not good. That is not good. Those are like basically some of the only people that were still rooting for him. And this really just hurts. This hurts a lot. And you could definitely tell how hurt Trisha was yesterday. And I'm honestly shocked. I really am, because, you know, they have been friends for so long, and Shane's always talked so highly of Trisha and how kind she is and how nice she has been throughout the years. I know that Trisha is not everyone's favorite, and I definitely am not supporting anything that she's really done in the past, but I don't think that anyone deserves to be talked so disgustingly like that. No one deserves to be body shamed like that or anything like that. So the fact that Shane is standing by those type of comments, knowing good and well he has talked so many times about his insecurities and body issues and all this stuff, you would think he would be the first person to be supporting Trisha and saying those comments are not going to fly with me. But nope, not good enough. Apparently Jeffree Star is worth losing a friend over, and your career. Oof, and the future of your career too. Oh my goodness, you guys. I don't know what is going through this man's mind. I really don't know. And Ryland has no problem promoting Jeffree, so we all know that that is no help to giving Shane advice on the situation. But I want to know what you guys think about the situation, because I truly can't believe that Shane has decided to take Jeffree's side, someone who literally could probably care less about him because he has not been supporting him the past couple of months. But, you know, Trisha has, so I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.